10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Question. What comes to mind when you hear these words? Edibles, wax, CBD, flower, sativa. Yeah, you get it. They're all related to cannabis. You know, marijuana or weed. Today, people everywhere, from the White House to the State House and to the Big House, are talking about legalizing marijuana. This is Yaz Hurston. Join me in this journey as we delve into the world of the evolutionary cannabis industry. Welcome to Blunt Discussion.
Yes. I guess this is a great day. It's extremely hot. Extremely hot outside, but you know it's cool in here because I got some cool people in the studio today. This is Yaz Hurston. You're listening to Blunt Discussion. As you know, Blunt Discussion is a podcast that is following the legalization of marijuana, not just in New York, but throughout the whole country. We're watching how this is unfolding. We're watching how legislation, how business people are moving in this direction. But we're also showcasing the people that are being so creative in this industry, I tell you. I mean, we met so many different people. And we just can't wait to learn, and we can't wait for the legalization to happen. As we've said before, legalization can't happen unless the immediate expungement of records are done for those who are in marijuana-related arrests. It can't happen unless you address community investment in our communities. It can't happen unless you understand the medicinal benefits. And it certainly can't happen unless businesses get a piece of the pie. And with us today, I have Miss Jade from Hipie Treats. With the love of cannabis in mind, Hipie Treats was created in 2017 to spread the joyous pleasures of the miraculous plant. Her all-natural product offers potent, tasty, medicinal alternatives to a discerning yet experienced tribe of enthusiasts. Hipie Treats brand produces an assortment of baked popsicles and THC extracts. They're founded, I guess, all over the country because we know that in New York, you can't have THC,
right? Exactly.
Mainly CBD. But we thank you for coming here to our show in New York to talk to us about it. So from farm to consumer, every edible is made from scratch using high-grade materials. Hip clients can expect consistency and quality with every bite of the perfectly dosed treat. So let's talk a little bit about that, Jade.
Wait, can I just, before you, I have to just say yes. I felt like I just had my own ad. It was great. It was awesome. I'm like, yes.
Well said. Well, welcome, Jade, to Blunt Discussion.
Yes, thank you for
having us.
Why
don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I guess this would be a little bit
on path. Beautiful. You're beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I mean, I guess it's not too... Okay, so that's a very broad question. Which part do you want to know? How I got into the business or just about me and my background?
I think I want a little bit know about you first.
Okay.
About who you are.
Okay.
And because it'll kind of explain your transferable skill set to this business.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, rule number one, I've always been a hustler. I've always had that mentality. I'm from Manhattan, Harlem, New York. So, you know, we kind of grow up with, if you can't make it here, you got to make it anywhere kind of a mind frame. So since young, I've always had a very hustlish mentality to me. I started working in the entertainment industry, so I have an entertainment and marketing background. And there I was doing PR for like a lot of people that people may know and some brands doing events. And I don't know, I guess this is kind of like a rebirth for me. But, you know, I just enjoy the business, you know.
So when this business emerged, because there's certainly different ways that people got into it. I have a couple of friends that got into this based upon family members being sick. Others had wanted to do other things such as marketing and apparel. What made you get into it?
Well, cannabis has always been a part of my lifestyle in a way since, I remember when my first interaction with it, I was like 15 years old and I was telling my friends, oh no, don't smoke. It's bad for you because of things that I had seen on commercials and etc. But then fast forward when I went into college, things kind of changed. And then next thing I know, I was paying through college tuition with cannabis. So, that was like the first time that I realized that I could make money from it and it wasn't all bad, quote unquote. And then from there, the entertainment industry, I'm a connoisseur of cannabis. I love it. And then one day I just got a text message to my phone, probably last year about the time that we had started the company, that they had CBD had become legal. The oil of CBD, they weren't doing arrests for it. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, what could I do to get into the industry now while they're just now finding out about it? And that's pretty much like how Hipie Treats was formed. I was like, okay, what could I do? I was like, oh, edibles. Like, that's a great idea. Not knowing that edibles and THC, the CBD, I was just getting into it and I didn't really understand the CBD versus the THC. So we just jumped headfirst in it and, started baking out in California. So it was just great. And how it really stuck was we were making it just as a way to get into the business, but then one of our clients actually had cancer and she was using it to treat, and she was just telling us about how it was really helping her and she didn't have to take medication. And then we had another client who was sick and he started eating the edibles, and then I think at that point it just became like it was bigger than just a sale. It was just like, okay, like what are we putting into these ingredients to actually help people? It became more of a real concern.
So when you realized that your product was making a difference, right? Because like you said, you grew up like this was something that I guess we self-medicated this stuff. So when you realized you were helping people, like what thought process did you go into it when you decided to change your style?
Well, once we started doing that, then it was just like, okay, we need to start pairing the edibles with different strands because they have different effects. I wanted to know more about each strand that we were baking with. Where did it come from? What is it actually alleviating? Is this good for this person? Because as things started to go on, we started to find that a lot of the people that were buying from us wasn't all using it for recreational. They were actually using it because they needed it. So I guess that style became more into play, just wanting to educate every and anybody who purchases the product.
Did you find that you had to provide pushback? Like, did you get pushback from folks initially, and then they tried it, they became like a real supporter?
Oh yeah, of course. Like I always get the they don't work for me. I like when he said that earlier. Earlier today, someone had said that to me, like that they don't really get any effects from the edibles, and I was just like, okay, you didn't try mine yet. And so everybody, they always do that, and the next thing I know, they're in our DM box like, oh my god, yours was so amazing, how can I get more? But there are a lot of people, and I think that the main thing is that people need to know the difference between CBD and THC when they're purchasing edibles.
Right. The other part is you mentioned your control is around the different type of strands, right? So are your edibles based upon if somebody wants to feel high or somebody wants to feel low, a sativa based or indica based? Like, how do you sell them? Like, what's your brands?
So each different profile that we have. So like sometimes we do the Brookie Brown, or we'll do which is a chocolate chip cookie and a brownie mix, or a chocolate chip cookie. Well, we call it chocolate hip cookie, OG Blondie. The brownie obsession. So for each one, most of the time we'll just find, like if we have 3 different strands, we'll bake and extract the THC and the CBDs from it and then apply it to that particular treat. So then that way, if we're talking to someone, who's having pain and they may not necessarily want to, knock out, but they want to be able to be more focused, then we might suggest this particular treat to them because we know what's in it and we know how it's going to affect their body.
That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Do you have testimonies?
Oh, if you go to the Instagram page, I always tell people our Instagram, I'll give it to you guys later again, but it's HIPIE TREATS. But if you go there and you just look underneath some of the comments from the photos, people leave long paragraphs. We love them. We post them on Tuesdays. We like to do that too, to share. We think sharing is caring. But yeah, like people, we turn a lot of non-believers into believers.
I met Jade at at a forum, at a major forum, we were discussing the legalization and being prepared, and you just came up to me and your energy was just awesome.
Thank you.
But I think the main thing is that you were there ready to be prepared. And so what's your game plan when legalization hits New York, since you're already doing stuff in California?
Well, our main thing right now is just trying to shut up those channels, establish the relationships like the one, that we have here, speaking to different people, just trying to get the brand more out there to build more awareness. So once it does become legal in New York City, people have already heard about it. It's a brand that they can trust. And then it just makes it a lot easier for us to set up shop here.
Mm-hmm. So you're anticipating like a bakery? I mean, I don't even know. I mean, we're all trying to figure out like what can you do, right?
Honestly, I was thinking about doing like a shop, because I feel like you can have edibles, you can have different things that connoisseurs like. It's a lifestyle that we have. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can place into one store for people to come and go crazy in, and I think that that's something that I would be interested in doing. Even if I don't know how feasible this is as of yet. But are you familiar? I don't know if I should shout out other brands, but
we'll just say the brand kind of what does it offer?
So I'm gonna tell you guys, because everybody knows Jungle Boys.
Okay.
So you know how Jungle Boys, they have this really cool dispensary. Like when you go in there, you can see the actual process, and then they have the store, the register that's right there. So if you want to take a tour of it, you can. I think that is so amazing. It kind of gives people that personable experience, and a big part of what this brand is we want to make it personable. We want to make it unique to everybody. So in the store, I would like to have, maybe a exhibition of some of the plants that we have. We handpick them from this garden over here. And then I can sell other people. We can create a menu. I don't think that it should be exclusively mine, but let's open it up and try to get other Black businesses and women into the store, and do it big. Create like a Canna family.
So what's your thought of legalization? I always ask this of guests. Maybe like about 5 years ago, we may not have seen this coming, but this is real.
And
what's your thoughts on this?
I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm really excited. I look at the positive aspects of it. I heard you speaking before about reparation, and I think that there's going to be a lot of that going on. I feel like a lot of people are going to get what's due for them in a good way. I feel like it's good for the economy, because those tax dollars could help with a lot of funding that different states and the country needs, obviously, because I don't know about our president right now, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I think the money, it will be good for the United States of America. These other countries are benefiting off of it. Why not us?
Have you visited other places, like other countries, or?
I went to Canada and did not go to not one dispensary.
You were there for Niagara Falls? Wait, what?
I went there for business, for my entertainment side of things. Sure. And I was in, as much of it as I'm grown and I can do what I want to do, there's still kind of this unspoken taboo, so it's just it was kind of hard for me to dip out on everyone without them where's she going?
Sure. But it's pretty exciting that other countries are doing it. I think that part of your brand is great, because you're transferring a lot of your other things that you've done over to this. So what do you have here? I see some items in front of us.
So right in front of me, I have the chocolate hip cookie.
Okay.
It's very highly dosed.
With CBD.
And this is our brookie. So that's the chocolate chip cookie and the brownie mixed.
Wow.
And then I also bought some cartridges here with us. So these are some of our extract. It's 85%.
Okay.
And it has 4% CBD in it.
Okay.
So this is the Romulan grapefruit and the jelly bean, which is a hybrid.
Okay.
And then I also bought some little menus and some business cards.
Oh, this is awesome. Let's see if I can put my glasses on.
Yeah, it's kind of small.
No, it's fine. I just need glasses. So this is great. I'm just really curious to know that when you speak to people, and people say, I'm very interested in in a product, how do you know to give them either a popsicle or a vape, a cartridge?
Well, I mean, I like to have a personable conversation with everybody. Like the brand, the brand overall is about just good energy, good vibes. If we don't really feel it when we speak to certain people, we don't, it's just about spreading good energy. So a lot of the times when we're speaking to people, we're not selling to them. It's a vibe. Like I need to know like what do you like, and let's get into a conversation and let's figure it out. Okay, so this is what you like, then this is what we have to accommodate that. I don't, I think that's pretty much the best way, and I think that's why we've been really good with our customers and they recommend other people to us. We haven't really had an issue with clientele. I think it's because of that aspect of the business.
So your client base, and is it specifically I feel like we're still going back. They call you and you meet them, or like are you IG is pretty much how you
it's a nice mix. I would say, there's people who call the number that we have, and then we have somebody that assigns the deliveries or whatever it is, or we have someone who checks the social media page. It's been like really just a combination of everything. There's no one way that works.
Sure. And so I guess I'm really excited to hear like your plans, because there's going to be about 9 different licenses in New York when it happens, and it seems like you do a number of things. There's the distribution, there's the retail aspect, there's the even cultivation, because you're talking about extracting and stuff. I mean, that's pretty awesome,
right?
And that skill set is something that people are trying to make money of it, but they don't even know how to do that yet. Have you thought about the different types of licenses that you may apply for, or what you would go into once it's legal in New York?
Well, honestly, when it comes to New York, no, we haven't thought of it. Right now, we're distributing underneath True Gold, which is a company that's based out in California. So they hold our seller's license because we're underneath them.
Good.
So our focus at this moment is just to get as many dispensary accounts as we can, and then once it becomes fully legal, then we can worry about opening up a storefront in New York.
So that's distribution. So you need to try out for that.
You said I need to try out for distribution?
Yeah, that's the distribution one.
Okay.
But as well as dispensary, because dispensary is so much money. It's going to be a lot.
Well, I don't think I want to do a dispensary just
but
because
just
of
store.
competition. Yeah, like just a store. Yeah.
Okay. Retail then.
Yeah, retail.
Yeah.
I think that sounds about right. And
we're all still learning about it, but
it's so many different ways that you can go into business. And that's a great conversation too. Like I think that people shouldn't be so closed-minded as to what it is that they can do. It's so big. I'm thinking about opening, well, no, not really. I got to focus on this. But I was about to say marketing, guys. People need marketers.
No, that's definitely it. Without even touching the brand, a marketer is important. I mean, you're so right. So, Jade, I want to say thank you so much for coming on Blunt Discussion. I mean, you're awesome. Your product is awesome, and I wish you the best.
No, thank you so much, guys. I had a great time, and
if there's anything, if anybody wants to know, no, I think we will. I think if there's anything, if there's a message that, I'm not going to say a young child, but if somebody's coming a budding, no pun intended, a budding entrepreneur, like what would you say would be your recommendation or your word of wisdom?
Act fast and be fearless. Things are happening right now, and you just got to figure it out, and don't be afraid. Don't really listen to what other people have to say, and just do what works for you. Like, don't be in the closet.
Well
be
said.
Out with everyone else.
Well said. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jade. You're that chick. We love you, and we look forward to more things.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye, Yaz. Yes.
So I just want to just say, and moving forward, as we continue to have, blunt discussions, we meet entrepreneurs, that we understand that they're just so creative. They're very creative. We see all the different types of brands that they do in the most legal way possible, from working in out of DC or working out of California, coming to us in New York. But we just want to see that there's so many people that are here in New York just waiting for the legalization to occur. So they're not taking their product and their talent out of New York. They can stay right here where they were born and raised and deal with their own clientele. So we thank you for that. Thank you for listening to us on Blunt Discussion, and we'll see you the next time. This has been a Say Yes Productions.